Boxing on the Zone, presented by William Hill.
Hello, my friend. Life comes at you fast. So make time for you time with Just Eat. Get all of the food for alls of the times. Crack of dawn times. Hungry yawn times. Quality times with the crew times. The perfect times for the McDonald's bacon roll, Five Guys cheeseburger and strawberry shake, Domino's pepperoni passion, Pratt's Chef's Italian chicken salad, and KFC Belgian bucket. So order now, later, in a bit, whenever. We got it.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
1984 has been a tough year.
Michael Jordan is the player we've been waiting for.
A rookie who's never set foot on an NBA court.
That's the literal definition of rookie. We tap into something deeper.
Yes.
The player's identity. He doesn't wear the shoe. He is the shoe. His story is gonna make us want to fly.
A shoe is just a shoe until my son steps into it.
Air. In cinemas April 5.
Have you been there? Been places no one should go? If you've been there, then you know. There's no such thing as solo. Wherever you go, we go. Every step, every wall, every climb. We always have your back.
You got a team? We got a family.
Check this out. Check this out.
It doesn't look like it. Joshua's going for the finish. Wow. He was utterly ruthless.
The following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery. Welcome to Westfield Shopping Centre, Shepherd's Bush, the heart of West London. The weigh-ins are about to get underway. The crowd, as you can see, have turned up. Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin. This is the Zone Boxing Show live.
The new dawn of Anthony Joshua. Live exclusively on the Zone. Rising with a clear mission. Come back stronger. Full focus. Working around the clock. From dawn till dark. Restless. Relentless. Ready. Redemption is in the ring. Witness the rise. Live only on the Zone.
Here we go, people. Here we go. This is what we've been waiting for, right? One more sleep until we see AJ and Jermaine Franklin throw hands. Adi Oladipo, Barack Act, the big boys are here. from the States. By the way, I wish we could pan away, by the way, because the amount of people that are here for the weigh-in is incredible.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
The AJ business is still big business.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I think a couple of years ago it would have been a little bit more. You know what I mean? I think you need a dancing partner that makes everybody happy. But this just goes to show everybody's here is literally for only one person, and that's AJ.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, if we get the win that most are anticipating, I think that crowd is going to get bigger and bigger because he's going to remind them. Remember Povetkin, Joshua, that weigh-in?
Yes.
It was mad. It's getting there, but we need to see that vintage AJ.
All right, before we talk about Anthony Joshua, Jermaine Franklin, Tony Bellew is going to join us as well. 2 signings to announce. Matchroom and DAZN have secured 2 very, very big talents. One, Shannon Ryan, unbeaten super flyweight. She's in a very exciting addition to female boxing. And Jack Cattrall.
Yes.
Now, Jack Cattrall's the special one for me. 140-pound fighter. Arguably beat Josh Taylor.
No. That's not an argument.
Is that an argument?
That's not an argument.
Nobody's really arguing that.
It's sad that we have to argue that, but he actually beat Josh Taylor.
I mean, this guy, in the loss, he actually won, right?
Yeah.
Because that was his coming out party.
That was his coming out party indeed. What we hope it does now is secure him big fights in the 140-pound division, because one thing about Jack we have to say, inactivity. We don't see him enough. Now, he's with a broadcaster and a promoter where you know he's going to get that push. He's going to get that push, and hopefully, for me, I want to see him fight Regis Prograis.
I like that fight. And we know Regis has been a free agent for I don't know how long, how many different platforms he's fought on. So he's been on DAZN before. I think that's a match made in heaven next.
Yeah.
That's a dog. Regis is a dog. And it's sad to say that you didn't get the belts fighting Josh Taylor. Now you got to fight a guy who's might be a little tougher in their style, stylistically.
Yeah,
Regis is ready for that, though.
Regis is ready for everything, but so is Jack Cattrall. What we did see in the opening package there was AJ doing his stuff in Dallas, right?
Yes.
If you want to see a bit more, we got a bit more for you, because our main man, Tony Bellew, went to Dallas, Texas to find out what exactly happens in AJ fight camp.
I want to see who's around him. I want to see his mindset, his approach to training, how he's gelling and connecting with Derek James is a big thing. What's going on, brother?
Still active. Good to see you, family.
Thanks.
Good. Good. Yeah, working hard, bro, for real.
Josh.
Yes, sir.
We're here. New camp.
Yeah.
New broadcaster, new trainer. New you.
Same me.
That's good to hear.
Same me.
What do you feel being over here, being in somewhere that's foreign and different and away from everyone? I personally think that that's a blessing in disguise.
I didn't come here for a holiday.
Yes.
And to chill out. I've come here for a goal. Like, I want to get better. I want to challenge myself. When I fought Usyk, I just felt I let a lot of people down. They feel like, oh, is his mind in it? Where's his head at? His head's not in the game. That's not the truth. My heart's in the game fully. Like, this is all I have, really.
It's hot in there, to say the least. Listen, he's getting the work done. He's obviously in fantastic shape.
Tony Bellew has joined us. Perfect timing, Tony. Tony was out there in Dallas, Texas. What was it like to see AJ in fight camp, away from Loughborough, away from Sheffield? How do you think his demeanour is being away from home?
The camp and the gym was kind of Rocky-esque. If I'm thinking of a word, took me back. The gym didn't smell particularly nice. Sweat, sawdust, small. Other fighters walking at me, Errol Spence just bounced in as if he was just a regular fighter, and I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? You're not playing around when you're around great fighters, like greatness like that. You're like, okay, it makes you sit up and take notice. Jamel weren't there, obviously, but it's the environment and it's the vibe that you get when you're around fighters like this. That will pass on to AJ, because he is still learning. He's a work in progress, and being around fighters of that magnitude, it only brings you on.
But in terms of Derek James, Tony, what stood out to you that you said to yourself, okay, I think AJ's going to get something good from this. I think something good's going to come from this guy and his culture.
The work rate, the work rate. No two ways about it. The work rate was insane. 200 punches a round.
Wow.
Averaging. Round after round, not just a one-off. So I thought it was really good. Listen, it's not necessarily the right way. It's different work. It's a different type of training. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. Right. It's just he ain't used to it. It's going to take time to adjust. This is not going to be an overnight like slipping. It's going to be great. Right. This is going to take time. It's going to take a lot of hard work, perseverance.
Well, what do you mean time? Like a certain amount of fight camps?
Of course. He's not going to sink. He's not completely going to sink with a trainer after one camp.
But does AJ need to change that much?
No, but he has the fundamentals in place. You don't get given Olympic gold medals. You don't get given the unified heavyweight championship of the world. You don't defeat world champions along your way, which he's done. All of them before I've just mentioned, he's done. You don't do that by being a poor fighter. He's a brilliant fighter. He just needs things. He needs to adjust stuff. And I'm not saying for the right reasons or the wrong reasons. He just needs to add to his bow.
So what do you think was the biggest thing missing in that loss against Usyk?
Violence.
Aggression. I remember when Klitschko was champion, when Vladimir Klitschko was champion, there was like 240 pounds of solid muscle. You get tired quickly. You think we'll see that?
No.
Because of the training with Derek James.
Of course, his mind is conditioned to go into this fight with it. He's looking at it in a different way. He's approaching this fight from a different angle. And if he was going in here to just get rid of
Jermaine Franklin
within 3 rounds, then I'd be like, that's the guy I want to see.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie, I don't think he is coming in here just to get rid of this guy in 3 rounds. I think he's going to come in here, he's going to want to have a look and maybe just work on some of the things he's been working on. I would like him to want to showcase to us what he's doing.
All right, Tom, we are going to hear from you lots. Also, we're going to be together throughout the afternoon, but they're ready to get the show on the road. David Diamante is on the stage. Let's do this. Time for the weigh-ins.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure to see everybody here. I see we got some boxing fans in the house, even all the way up in the top. Great to see everybody today at the Westfield Mall in Shepherd's Bush, London, England, for the official weigh-in for our big night of fights taking place here on Saturday night. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, and we're sponsored by Betfred, Stagefront, and JD Sports. Of course, all the action will go out live around the world exclusively on DAZN. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fight card. 10 fights on the card. We even have a heavyweight title fight on the card. But at the top of the bill, baby, it's a new dawn. It's the return of AJ against the 989 Assassin. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go ahead and invite the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 6 rounds in the heavyweight division. Now making his way to the stage, he fights out of Germany by way of Macedonia. Please welcome Alan Loriol. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, his professional record 14 wins against only 1 defeat. He's the reigning German heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Hamburg, Peter Kadiru. Now to the scale, Alan Loriol. 273.2 for Alan Loriol. And now to the scale, the reigning German heavyweight champion, Peter Kadiru. $239.3 for Kadiru. 239.3 for the undefeated German fighter. Kadirul versus L'Oreal, 6 rounds. Heavyweights kicking us off. O2 Arena Saturday night matchroom boxing live on DAZN from London, England.
Barack's just getting into shot here. You got to stay ready to get ready, Barack.
It's funny how you guys got ready, didn't tell me nothing.
No, we're just watching the action as well, just like you were. It's always good, I think, to have a heavyweight showdown on the card. We got a couple. We got 3 heavyweight showdown.
By the way, Barack, I don't know about what you said earlier, but this is a packed crowd right now.
Yeah, this is packed.
I guess 10 minutes later,
I understand, but normally there's no standing room when AJ comes around. I just think it's early in the day.
Yeah, no, this is packed. But look, it's good to see the first one get done. Let's cross over now to Mr. David Diamante to continue the weigh-ins.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 8 rounds in the heavyweight division. And now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 8 wins against 3 defeats. He has 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Sion, Switzerland, ladies and gentlemen, El Gato Negro, Benoit Uber. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, a perfect one. 15 fights, 15 victories, 6 of them coming by way of knockout. He's the WBC Youth and the WBO Junior Cruiserweight Champion. He fights out of Germany by way of Albania. Please welcome Jürgen Uğurdeydağ. Now to the scale, El Gato Negro, Benoit Uber. Dead, 200 bang on for El Gato Negro, Benoit Uber, 200 pounds. And now to the scale, the undefeated Jürgen Uğurdeydağ. £203 pounds and 8 ounces for Uğurdeydağ. 203.8.
Shape. And I didn't realize he's with Don Charles, obviously former trainer to Derek Chisora, so he's going to be coached the right way as well. A lot of people very excited about Uğurdeydağ, Albanian, now based in Germany. He could be the real deal. Look, we'll wait and see. I don't want to get too excited, guys. But he could be someone to watch out for in the next 12 to 18 months.
I just don't understand how the guys of this size can make 200 pounds, and I'm 215 pounds, 5'10".
Give or take 5 pounds.
Uğurdeydağ versus Uber. It's 8 rounds, heavyweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from the O2 Arena, London, England.
It should be a good scrap, this one. Uğurdeydağ has fought 10 rounds before. This is an 8-rounder, so the distance won't be a problem for him. Carries power as well, but look, again, anytime I see a fighter with Don Charles, who's an experienced trainer, I know that he's going to get the right skills.
There's the crowd. There goes the crowd, Barack.
There goes the crowd.
Heavyweight, but probably fights a cruiserweight.
No, cruiserweight. 100% a cruiserweight.
Right. It's technically a heavyweight bout, but they're a little bit over.
Just a little bit over it, yeah, just a little bit over. I think they're showing this crowd to prove Barack something wrong here. Barack was like standing room only. Standing room only, Barack.
That's right.
You're right. 2 floors.
It was just a little bit early before.
Yeah, you spoke too soon.
And it certainly was. All right, let's go back to Mr. David Diamante for our next one.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 4 rounds in the super featherweight division. And now making his way to the stage, 18 victories, 9 defeats, 1 draw. He has 1 win coming by way of knockout. He's the former Midlands area champion, fighting out of Birmingham, England. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kane, Mexican Baker. his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, a perfect one, 8 fights, 8 victories, one of them coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Oxford. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 3-time national champion, Jordan Flynn. Flynn. Now the scale, Kane Baker. $129 and 8 ounces for Kane Baker, 129.8. And now to the scale, the undefeated fighter from Oxford, Jordan Flynn. $129 and 10 ounces for Jordan Flynn, 129.10.
Jordan Flynn in tremendous shape. Shredded. He's completely shredded. He's a very good prospect in the super featherweight division. But in Kane Baker, his opponent, this is a guy that comes to fight. He's not one of those guys with, you know, I don't want to say he's a journeyman because he's much better than that. He has a winning record. But he almost understands the assignment. Right. He comes in, he fights guys that are unbeaten, he gives them really good rounds, and sometimes he pulls off the upset. As you can see, both men are in shape, but you can see Kane Baker struggling up the way. You can see his face.
Yes, he's so dry. Sometimes you can play both sides of the field. You can be a journeyman and someone that can pull an upset off. I mean, a lot of fighters out there that play that role.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Flynn will look at what others prospects have done against Kane Baker, Aqib Fiaz, Sam Maxwell, etc., etc., and he'll want to better them. But a lot of people are excited about Jordan Flynn. We know the feather and super featherweight divisions around the world are stacked.
Jordan Flynn, Kane Baker, 4-round super featherweights, Matchroom Boxing, live on the Zone from the O2 Arena, London, England.
Right, both guys in tremendous shape, and that should be a good test. It would be a good test. I mean, again, Kane Baker, almost a part of the Matchroom furniture. I mean, they have a prospect. Shove him to Kane Baker and let's see what he can do, right?
That's his job.
Yeah, and I think he's going to give. I think he'll give Jordan Flynn some rounds, but ultimately, if Jordan wants to kick on with his career, he'll want a stoppage. Yeah, he'll want a stoppage. They keep doing this for you, Brack. I'm convinced. They keep showing the crowd.
Now they went to the 3rd level.
But no, it has gone crazy. Like 20 minutes
ago. This is from today or is this from a few years ago? Because I remember that lady right there in the purple in the middle. I don't know.
All right, let's go back to
ladies and gentlemen, the next contest, full rounds in the welterweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 3 victories against 10 defeats. All 3 of his wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Sofia, Bulgaria. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome George Babyface Velichkov. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, his young professional record thus far perfect. 2 fights, 2 victories, one of them coming by way of knockout. He fights out of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please welcome Ziad Zizo Al-Mayouf. Now to the scale, babyface George Velichkov. $142 and 7 ounces for George Velichkov, 142.7. And now to the scale, the undefeated Zizo Al-Mayouf. $145.14 for Zizo Al-Mayouf, 145.14.
Seeing Zizou here, I've seen him fight in Saudi Arabia, and I think it's important for the growth of the sport, especially when you think of how much boxing goes to the Middle East, that they do unearth and birth their new stars. And he could be one. He could be one. Obviously unbeaten, looks in great shape. Let's see how he gets on, because the last time I saw him fight, he got dropped. He rallied and won, but he got dropped.
Tough guy. Yeah. Right. You know, normally at this stage, they have a guy, your opponent looks like he came to lose. This opponent looks like he came to win. You know, he's in shape just as much as him.
Yeah, no, he fought his butt off, but there's work to be done there defensively, but they're behind this guy. He has a good team behind him.
Bellew, 4 rounds, welterweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from London, England.
And I think that's what he needs as well, though, because look, they're matching him against guys that are coming to win.
Right.
Like, everyone wants to scalp. Everyone wants his scalp, and I think that's good. Sometimes, as you guys know how this works, sometimes as a prospect coming up, you get matched against guys that are just coming for the paycheck.
Yeah. You don't get tested early.
His opponent's coming for a bit more than that.
No, you got to get tested early as a prospect, and I think oftentimes certain promotion companies don't do that soon enough.
Yeah, and it looks like Zizou has a little crowd. I think maybe most of the crowd is here for Zizou, and maybe you guys are fluffing about Joshua. I don't know, maybe.
All right, let's go back to Mr. David Diamante for the next one.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues in our next contest. 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Please welcome to the stage at this time with a professional record of 11 victories against 2 defeats. 2 of his wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Nowy Sącz, Poland. Please welcome Daniel Bocianski. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record thus far perfect, 7 fights, 7 victories, 2 of them coming by way of knockout. Here is the 4-time national champion and the 7-time international titleist. He fights out of Takeley, England. Ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman, John J. Hedges. And now to the scale, Daniel Bocianski. $186.4 for Bocianski, 186.4. And now to the scale, the undefeated gentleman, John J. Hedges. $189.14 for the undefeated fighter from Takeley. 189.14 for the gentleman, John J. Hedges.
Slowly but surely, I think we're starting to see him sort of get in shape. He's obviously with Mark Tibbs, so he's in a great camp. He's finding his weight as well, and I just want to see him active. I want to see him active. I want to see the best of John Hedges. We might get it. Bocianski looks like he's come to fight as well. Looks in good shape. So hopefully we see him tested a little bit.
Hedges has a big crowd in here. I mean,
yeah,
you heard the crowd roar, so that's always a plus in this sport.
Yeah, but speaking of weight, he's going to have to fill into that 200 pounds eventually to compete with these guys.
Yeah. I mean, you look at some of the guys in the cruiserweight division, and they're all massive.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
Lawrence Okoli is about 6'9".
Yeah, I don't.
But you know how big John Hedges is, because Eddie Hearn's at least 6'6".
Yeah, 6'5".
And he looks taller than Eddie.
Yeah,
so he's a big guy. He's a young kid as well, but look, he'll fill out.
And he knows how to use his size and his length.
8 rounds, light heavyweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN.
From fluffy around the edges there, love handles you got to work on a little bit.
Hey, don't be fooled by love handles. A certain Tyson Fury has love handles.
Very true.
That's a good point.
Doesn't seem to deter him, does it? Look, that's before the bell weigh-in's done. Look, so many big fights coming up on DAZN. May 20th, though, a massive, massive fight. An icon returns home.
But that was on American soil. It's only right to run it back again, don't you think? Don't you think?
The rematch between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is officially off. as the weeks have unfolded, she's just not going to be ready.
Katie Taylor not fighting and that fight card not happening, we have a problem.
Katie Taylor on her social media.
It's coming from Katie, so there's no excuses can be made now.
And I always said that when Chantel Cameron racked up the belts, she would be the front runner.
Undisputed champion versus undisputed champion. Both undisputed, both undefeated. No brainer.
Katie's like, no, it's all dance at 140.
That is a tougher fight than Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor.
I love it. Sensational.
For the first time in a 4-belt era, 2 reigning undisputed champions will face off against each other.
The Queen of Ireland, she's coming home.
Taylor versus Chantel Cameron is just one of so many huge events coming your way on the Zone over the next couple of months. In a fortnight, there's an epic lightweight showdown stateside with Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia finally lock horns. There's another homecoming May 6th when Canelo Alvarez puts his undisputed super middleweight belts on the line against John Ryder in Mexico. And the X Series returns to the UK for its 7th edition as KSI tops the bill against Joe Fournier. As ever, make sure you check your local schedule for details of what's available in your region. All right, let's go back to the stage. Mr. David Diamante is on stage for a very special announcement.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the official weigh-in continues here with a very compelling 10-round middleweight contest. Please welcome to the stage at this time. He's got a professional record of 14 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the former Midlands area middleweight champion. He fights out of Coventry. Ladies and gentlemen, River Wilson Bent. Wilson Bent. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He's a southpaw with an undefeated record. 13 fights, 13 victories, 9 of them coming by way of knockout. He's the reigning and undefeated WBA International Middleweight Champion, fighting out of H-Town, Houston, Texas, Austin Ammo Williams. Now to the scale, from Coventry, River Wilson Bent. 162.7 for River Wilson Bent, 162.7. And now to the scale, the undefeated Austin Ammo Williams. 162.8 for Austin Ammo Williams, 162.8.
Type of guys that stay in the gym, they stay gym rats, so they can get called a few weeks before a fight and be already ready.
And that's the thing, we always wondered about Austin's mindset. You know, he had that period away, he came back. Look at his eyes.
He's not blinking. He's not blinking.
He's on a task at hand right now.
I like it. Hope a future fight with Phoenix Cash. Whether or not that will happen now down the line, I'm not quite sure. But for River Wilson, though, this is an opportunity for him.
Yeah,
big shot.
He's been on some big shows before. He fought Hamza Shiraz recently. He got stopped in that one. This is his hometown.
It's a big
River
stage.
Wilson Bent, 10 rounds middleweights, matchroom boxing, live on the Zone from the O2 Arena, London, England.
If anybody ever gets psyched for the win, it's Austin Williams.
Oh, for real. Ammo really about the ammo. Look at him.
And that doesn't stop until the fight.
No, you see that same energy on fight night.
Yeah, he's like a method actor.
What's he ceiling, Ammo? I know it's a difficult question to ask, but hey, we asked a difficult question.
I think he has something. He has something that can give him big opportunity as far as like a big ceiling as power, right? Especially in his division. I think because of his power in his southpaw stance, the more he keeps learning, he can get to a world title. And I want to see him at the end of this year, next year, in those type of conversations.
Because when you look at the middleweight division, look, Golovkin's going to go. Yeah, he's 40. I know Lara's jumped up, but Lara's going to go. He's 40.
Jamal Charlo might go up to 168.
Mid-30. You don't want to fight Yannick. You wait for him to go. Charlo, as you say, will go up to 168. The doors will slowly open for people like Amir.
Middleweight division is going to be wide open real soon.
Yeah, and he's the kind of guy you want to put the middleweight on his back. He comes in shape all the time. He's ready. He can also actually take our jobs as well. He's really good at talking.
But if you ask him, he'll be ready for all those guys that are moving on.
All right, let's go back over to Mr. David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this weigh-in for a very important message. Now making his way to the stage, the newest member of the Matchroom stable, the reigning IBF flyweight champion of the world, Showtime, Sonny Edwards!
Sonny, welcome to the team. I have to say, I wasn't sure about you early in the days, and now I've realised you're entertaining, you're intelligent, and you just might be the best flyweight in the world.
No, I definitely agree with the last part, for sure. Yeah, I think I've done a lot in the last couple of years to sort of prove myself in world boxing, and now I think I've got the platform, the promoter, and the fights laid out in front of me. I've wanted them, you know that, Eddie. I've desperately wanted them. You know, I've crossed the river, I've joined the dark side, and now I'm ready for for everything that big-time boxing has to offer me.
You've obviously headlined some shows in the UK, but you know as well that the ability that we have globally and the champions that we have, Jesse Rodriguez going to be trying to become a two-time champion next week for the WBO Flyweight Championship. Julio Cesar Martinez defends his world title on the Canelo Alvarez card. Exactly the nights you want to be a part of.
Yeah, like literally, if those are my next two fights, perfect business. Like, I don't really want any intermediates. I've been crying and dying for the big fights. The mandatories, they don't really... I want the unifications, I want the ring. Go up, wait, do it again. I want the legacy, and I really want the opportunity to, achieve my dream.
And finally, for yourself, whether it's Mexico, whether it's Las Vegas, whether it's New York, Sheffield, London, you are ready to prove that you are the best flyweight on the planet.
Yeah, I'm the best flyweight on the planet. I'm probably one of the best fighters on the planet. It's hard to get credit down at this weight, but, like I said previously, these fights can really stand me out, not just as a great flyweight fighter. If I beat the names you've already mentioned and already got signed in the stable, I'm probably one of the best British fighters already to ever do it. And then going from there, I've got another 10 years left at this, I think. I've not even had a hard fight yet.
Well, there are many British world champions at the moment. You are one of them, and like you said, could go...
You're only one, I think, male. Anyway, Eddie.
May 27th, we got another shot at that, but in my opinion, one of the top fighters in world boxing, of course, British boxing as well. This man's going to go on and try and become undisputed in the flyweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning IBF Flyweight World Championship. Welcome to the Matchroom and DAZN team, Sonny Edwards.
Okay, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. There's a whole lot of you out here. You can do better than that. This is the reigning, defending IBF Flyweight Champion in the world from England, Showtime, Sonny Edwards. Make some noise out there. Some real noise. And make some noise for all these fighters coming up here for the weigh-ins. You guys are a little quiet today. Let's wake up. Okay, the action continues with the weigh-in 8-round super lightweights now making his way to the stage. His professional record, 10 wins against 7 defeats. He's got 1 win coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Tamworth in Staffordshire. Please welcome the Flash, Lewis Fielding. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record of perfect 110 fights, 10 victories, 3 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Manchester, England, ladies and gentlemen, Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton. And now the fighter from Tamworth, Lewis, the Flash Fielding. 138.6 for Lewis the Flash Fielding, 138.6. All right, now to the scale, the undefeated Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton. $139, 12 ounces, 139.12 for the undefeated Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton.
Both guys, as expected, in great shape. Campbell Hatton, this will be his 11th fight. They are moving him. You do wonder what the plan is for Campbell Hatton, right?
Take their time. We're not wondering. Take your time.
No rush, huh?
That's what. No, we've seen a couple of scares already. That's the thing with these guys with these famous last names. Their beginnings are just broadcasted on the world. This is his amateur scene right now. This is his amateur fights.
But it's almost unfair because I mean the pressure that's on him right away. You know, these fighters need to develop. He has big shoes to fill, right? So they need to take their time.
It is fair because normally we wouldn't know who he is, so it is fair.
No, we expect too much from guys like this.
Yeah, we do expect. And look, there's so much pressure on the names, isn't there? We've seen it with Benn, we've seen it with Eubank, Chavez, and now we're seeing it with Campbell Hatton as well. Let's see how he gets on Saturday. Let's go back over to David Diamante. Crowd shots, crowd sweat.
Yeah,
completely swelling there now, isn't it?
There's a sea of people right behind us right now.
They are. Joshua will hit to the scales in I'll say about 10 minutes. The big man. All right, quick one, very quickly before they call up the next one. What does Joshua weigh? What are we thinking? What does he weigh? What does he hit the scales?
Well, in America, we'll say 249 pounds.
Man, that's a good guess.
Yeah,
I think he might be bang on.
256. 256. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go in the middle.
You if you're wrong.
I'm gonna go in the middle with 250.
All right, let's see. 10 minutes time. AJ will hit the scales. Let's go back over to David Diamante.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going with 10 rounds in the flyweight division. Now making his way to the stage, 36-10-1 with 19 knockouts. Presentando de Monclova, Coahuila, Mexico. Damas y caballeros, the reigning WBO, NABO flyweight champion and the former world title challenger, Moises Taz Gallegos. Gallegos. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He's a southpaw with an undefeated record. 3 fights, 3 victories, 2 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Birmingham, England, here is the 2020 Olympic gold medalist and the reigning and undefeated WBC International Flyweight Champion, Bellew Yafai. Yafai. and 6 ounces from Moises Gallegos, 114.6. And now to the scale, the undefeated Bellew Yafai. 113 and 8 ounces for Bellew Yafai, 113.8.
Now, so many fantastic fighters that came out of the recent Olympics from the Team GB squad. He could be the best out of them all. I know he didn't look great his last fight, split decision when it was a tough fight for him. But I think he's a very, very special fighter in a red-hot division.
I agree with you, and I think those type of fights actually can make you better, right? Those are wake-up calls. Those are fights that push you in the gym further to level up. So sometimes you need that.
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly he's the best right now coming out of that camp, but you know what? You need to show a little bit more. You need to show that you got power as well, so that we want to look at you the next time.
You know what scares me about Moises Gallegos is that I think he's got 10 defeats on his leisure. For Mexicans, that's nothing.
Yes.
Hey, you could be the 150th ranked flyweight Mexican, and you know you're tough.
You're going to give somebody
10 rounds, flyweights,
and he out there look on the
his
the
face.
zone from London, England.
And it's a great opportunity for him. I mean, look, he's going to be high up on a big card. He's going to want to come and impress. And we've seen a few Mexicans come over recently, most notably Mauricio Lara. No one knew who he was. All of a sudden, it caused one of the big upsets. I don't think that'll happen on Saturday night. But, again, Galal didn't look good his last time out. He's going to want to impress.
Yeah, I mean, we need to get back to those days where you can take a loss and you can still, you know, hold your spot in this division. You know, Manny Pacquiao has a bunch of losses and he's one of the best of all time.
Indeed it is. All right, let's cross over to David Diamante. We're getting closer to AJ.
That's right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening, as Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 10 rounds for the vacant WBA Continental Heavyweight Championship. And now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 13 victories, 3 defeats. He has 10 big wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Orlando, Florida, by way of Brooklyn, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mike P.A.N. Coffey. Coffey. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, his professional record, a perfect one. 15 fights, 15 victories, 14 of his 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former English heavyweight champion and the reigning and undefeated British heavyweight champion, proudly fighting out of Ipswich, England, Fabio Wardley. Wardley. Now to the scale, P.A.N. Mike Coffey. $269.4 for Mike Coffey, 269.4. And now to the scale, the undefeated Fabio Wardley. 242.6 for Fabio Wardley, 242.6.
Boy, the big boys are in town. And these are two very, very big boys. Fabio Wardley, as David Diamante said, 15 fights, 15 wins, 14 knockouts. Woo. This guy doesn't like doing overtime.
No.
He might have to go a few more rounds than he's used to, though, I think, on Saturday. Maybe.
Hey, Barack, is it safe to say that Coffey, at one time a New York prospect, if you remember on SiriusXM, we talked about him with our guy over there. He was...
Jeez, these are big.
Is he going to turn into a journeyman? Is he going to be a gatekeeper?
I think he's already there because of his 2 losses with Johnny Rice, but this is a chance to redeem himself. We've seen Fabio hurt before. Now, he looks in shape. He's always looking determined. He's always looking confident, but this is going to be a test for him today.
Yeah, I mean, look, Fabio's journey from a white-collar boxer, there's hardly any amateur fights, right? So he's learning on the job.
Yeah, kind of like Coffey. Coffey started late as well, and that's the trend in the heavyweight division now. These big guys are coming into the sport late, and that's why they're not as polished.
Yeah, but one thing Fabio has is heart. You know that.
He's got that, and if he gets through this one, then there's so many British fights that need to happen. David Adelaide, Fraser Clark, so hopefully he defends his British title next. All right, guys, we are moments away from the big one. AJ versus Franklin kicks off an amazing run of fights on DAZN.
fighting like champions.
Mark your card for the remainder of the month. Next Saturday, big one, Jesse Bam Rodriguez faces Christian Gonzalez. On Friday, 21st of April, the X Series hits the Big Easy as JMX faces Le'Veon Bell in New Orleans. I'm over there for that one, very excited. Then the following day, it's a huge doubleheader starting in Cardiff where Joe Cordina challenges Shavkat Rakhimov for the IBF Super Featherweight title. Then a big one later on that evening. Eagerly anticipated lightweight showdown of Javante Tank Davis takes on Ryan Garcia. All right, I'm ready for this. Big, huge one. Sorry, I apologize. You're right. It's a huge one. All right, let's go. David Diamante's waiting. AJ versus Franklin. Let's do this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute pleasure it is to see everybody here today. We got a packed house all the way up to the rafters. Great to see everybody here today as it's now time to weigh in the main event of the evening on Saturday night as Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, in association with Salida Promotions and AJ Boxing, are proud to present 12 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. And now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 21 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 14 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Saginaw, Michigan, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jermaine, the 989 Assassin, Franklin. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 24 victories, 3 defeats, 22 of his 24 wins coming by way of knockout. He proudly fights out of his home of Watford, England. Here is the 2012 Olympic gold medalist and the 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua. Scale from Saginaw, Michigan, USA, the 989 Assassin, Jermaine Franklin. .234.12 for Jermaine Franklin, 234.12 for the 989 Assassin. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Joshua. .255.4 for AJ, 255.4 for Anthony Joshua. Joshua, Jermaine Franklin. 12 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Matchroom Boxing in association with Salida Promotions and AJ Boxing, live on DAZN from the O2 Arena, London, England.
Let's get a word. Let's get a word with both men. Let's start with the former unified heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua. Anthony, back home, fighting. What does it feel like to be back home finally?
Well, it's so loud. Good, calm.
How are you feeling? We haven't seen much of you. You've been tucked away in Dallas, Texas. How are you feeling? Big fight for you. You've spoken so many things about what happens in the aftermath of this fight. How are you feeling approaching this fight?
How am I feeling approaching this fight? I got my game plan, got my mind right, and I'm just ready to go to war.
Some have said only a knockout will do for this. That's what they've said. You've said as well in the press conference a couple of days ago that he's digging his grave every time he talks. Is that what you are searching for, a knockout?
I know I got a possibility of doing it 100%, but there's a process to get there. I just follow my process. Pray to God, and what will be, will be.
Quick word for all the fans that have turned out for you here.
Yeah, that's what's important. That's what's important. How's everyone doing? Good energy. Yes, so I appreciate everyone coming out. This is amazing. Like, so many people. Westfields of all, good choice. And what more can I say? I'm honored. I don't take this lightly. I'm humbled, and I appreciate everyone here today. Some people are just passing through as well. So hello to the newcomers. Welcome to boxing.
Well done, AJ. Good luck on Saturday. Let's speak to Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine, massive opportunity for you here. You've been to the UK once before. Last time it was Dillian Whyte, a fight that the record books say you lost, but many people thought you won. How do you approach this fight, though, with a tougher challenge?
We just approached this fight with a whole new attitude, you know, whole new demeanor, whole new strategy. You know, we worked very hard in this camp, so, you know, we just put the game plan to pass out of there.
A lot of people have been focused on your size. You've clearly lost a lot of weight compared to the Dillian Whyte fight. What do you make of Anthony Joshua's size? A lot bigger than we're used to seeing him.
You know, he probably bulked up a little bit, but, you know, we ready for whatever. We got to steal a chin. We got a chin to steal, so not worry about too much about power. He still got to be able to touch me with it.
You have fought on the big stage before. This is completely different, though, isn't it? This is a packed-out O2 Arena. It is live on DAZN. Does that make any difference for you, the fact that you are going into the biggest fight of your life?
No, I'm comfortable. This is what I do. I love the sport. I love the fight. You know, in the ring, it's just me and him. So, you know, it's a big arena. I'm going to love to hear the roaring and the fans and everything, but, you know, inside that ring, it's only me and him.
Again, I'm going to ask the question I asked to AJ. A win is the most important thing, but are you also going for the knockout?
Yeah, I'm going for anything. I need to win by any means necessary. You know, if he shows me that I can stop him, I'm trying to put him on his ass. But if not, then we're going to win with a dominating fashion.
Good luck on Saturday, Jermaine. Well done.
Thank you.
Big fights keep coming on DAZN. May 6th is a big one as well. Canelo goes back home. He takes on the Brit John Ryder.
I've already put the text into Reynoso. Every time that Saul Canelo Alvarez fights, the world is watching.
I think this is the perfect moment, perfect fight to bring this fight to Guadalajara.
The timing is now and the timing is right.
I truly believe I can come away victorious.
The whole world will be watching. This is a fight that will be remembered in the history of Mexican boxing forever.
Boxing, we bring you on DAZN. UEFA Women's Champions League has reached the semi-final stage with all four legs live right here, as is every game for the new IPL cricket season as well. And for the NFL fans, we've got you covered. We haven't left you out with Game Pass, giving you all the gridiron access you need. Make sure you check your local schedules for availability. Look who's just jumped in with us as well. Mr. Eddie Hearn is here. Don't you love this? Don't you love this when you look around and it's packed?
It's like he hasn't been here for a while. He hasn't boxed in the UK since, I think, September 2021.
Wow.
And he's coming off 2 defeats, so you always turn up and go, it's like being at a, you know, when you have a birthday party, you hope everyone turns up, and you just see tiers of people here, thousands of people come out just to watch him weigh in.
Yeah.
You know, he's still a massive star, and I've not really seen him like that before.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, just all business.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was
not even against Brazil, guys like that.
No, I mean,
you're
it's
right.
just different now. I think back then there was an element of naivety.
Yeah.
He still didn't know enough about the game.
Yeah.
And what I saw up there was just some bloke that wants to go in and cause absolute mass destruction tomorrow night. And I like that. Listen, I like that.
Yeah. And you've given up on getting AJ a soft touch because he doesn't want any. Obviously, this is a real fight.
I think you can't win. You know, it's like you go back to the night in Madison Square Garden against Andy Ruiz. You know, Don King told me, just take Trevor Bryan. You know, it's a nice knockout. And I'm thinking, that's a one-round knockout. We're going to get laughed at Madison Square Garden. Let's have a proper fight. Let's fight Andy Ruiz.
Right.
And everyone agreed. But that's what he's always done. And I feel like he's never really got credit for that. He could have filled the O2. He could have taken this fight against a much lesser opponent than Jermaine Franklin. You've seen the guy come in much better shape. He's going to be a lot faster. He's a lot fitter. He took 12 rounds against Dillian Whyte in a very close fight. Some thought that he won that fight as well. He can punch. He's got fast hands. He's got a good chin. It's going to be a really good fight. And I think
are you sure you're not his promoter, Jermaine Franklin?
I'm just nervous, to be honest with you. The thing is, I took the fight up so much that by the time fight night comes around, I'm so confused. I don't know who's going to win.
Eddie, have you spent any time in Texas in Derek James's gym with AJ?
One day. Yeah.
I hear it's really hot in there.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's just the surroundings. You know, like, you got to remember that he's trained mainly at the English Institute of Sport, the Olympic home, for his whole career. It's like a red carpet in there for him. And he doesn't want that, but it's just pictures everywhere. Everyone's AJ. And then all of a sudden, I went to Dallas. I mean, you know, pulled up to the house he was staying, and I'm like,
wrong place.
So, driver, you got
the right place.
Here, you know, and then you go to the gym. I mean, it's wild, the surroundings, and just a simple gym, 2 rooms. I've never seen him train in those kind of facilities before. I think it's what he needed. He needed to be taken away from the bubble that he lives in.
So you see a new AJ coming from that?
I see a hungry AJ. I mean, everyone keeps saying, how do you think he looks? Till that bell goes on Saturday, no one knows where he's at physically, where he's at mentally, but he needs to impose himself in this fight early. If he lets Franklin get in a rhythm, if he gets confident, because listen, I'm the closest person to the head-to-heads.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Anthony Joshua, and I'm seeing Jermaine Franklin looking at Anthony Joshua. I don't care what anyone says. He's thinking, look at the size of this guy. I mean, he's an absolute tank, right? And he's been in with big guys before, but not with the speed of Anthony Joshua, not with the ability to throw combinations like Anthony Joshua, but he's confident. But if he lets Jermaine get more confident, get in a rhythm, and probably frustrate AJ, that's the key in this fight. What you don't want in this fight is AJ to get through 7 or 8 rounds, start missing, getting a bit frustrated. Do you know what I mean? He's got to go out there, he's got to be dominant with his jab, and he's got to go like in 2 phases. You know, when he stings him like he used to, back him up to the ropes, 7 or 8 punch combination, take this guy out and do it early and make a statement.
Do you agree with that? What the people are saying, the narrative is he needs to score a knockout to really gain that momentum again. Is that what we have to see from AJ?
I'll take the win, mate, to be honest with you, you know, but I just feel that if we're going to really make a case for the best heavyweight in the world, or even one of, you know, and I don't think you can deny that, but if you've got to make a case for beating Tyson Fury, regaining the World Heavyweight Championship, you've got to go through Jermaine Franklin, and you've got to do it in style. And you know, I believe you're going to get a great Anthony Joshua performance tonight, but I also believe there's a lot of pressure on him. And that's what I see up there. It's like, I'm not interested. You know, even with you, I mean, you two are pals. It weren't the most friendly interview.
Mate, it was the hardest interview I've done.
I know.
It was one-word answers. I thought, I'm stepping up there, he's going to give me millions.
You, the energy's, you know, it's like matey. Even that with you, it's like, look, what, And then you said about the fans, he's like, no, you know what, I just need to, I need to be real on this
That
one.
was a good crutch.
Well, that's good. That just says that he's focused. You know, I just like that he came looking more confident than ever. Now, at one time you said, okay, a top 15 guy and then maybe a Dillian Whyte. Now it seems like if he destroys Jermaine Franklin, we talking Fury or Wilder immediately?
I think that if AJ puts in a great performance tomorrow night, with no mandatory for Tyson Fury, with no fight for Anthony Joshua, I feel like the British public are going to absolutely insist on the Tyson Fury fight.
Okay.
But it's all down to the performance tomorrow night. If he struggles a little bit and if he wins, he may say, give me another one in July, and then I'll have a big fight. But he's all about the big fights. You know, and I feel like this guy, I mean, I think he's about 10 or 11 pounds heavier than the Alexander Usyk fight, and I expected that. For a long time, I think he's worked off the basis of being lean. Being lean will give me more engine in the fight.
Yeah.
And I think the camp with Derek James has been about output. Yeah. It's been about counting the amount of punches that he's throwing per round in sparring, pushing him to the limits. And I think he's just realised that he wants to come into his fight like a wrecking ball, you know, like a big, bad heavyweight, and take this guy out with size and speed. And I think he looks fantastic.
Yeah, I love the way he's talking to them. He's talking to them more than he spoke to me. Yeah. They're getting a good 5 minutes. I think I might have said something on Twitter. I can't remember. But look, he does look in fantastic shape. And I love when AJ does this. I love when he goes and gives people time. Because that's what AJ's career has all been about. He's always given people time.
I just want one point on that. That's taxing, right? That time and that energy, and he's always done that. And I feel like that was one of the reasons you saw the implosion. It's like all the years of pressure. He finishes in here now. Most fighters, well, actually every fighter, just slip out the back into the car and back to the hotel. AJ's going to go around here. He's going to talk to the kids. He's going to see the crowd, and he's given that back so many times. But after a while, I remember when we were Rob McCracken, you know, we'd do a media workout. That's why we didn't do one this week, because he ends up staying for like 2 hours, signing everybody's autographs and everything. And Rob McCracken would go, no signing tonight. Oh, okay. Next thing, he's out, you know. And that energy that he's used in those build-ups, I think has taken something out of him. And I feel like being removed from that in Texas, where much fewer people know who he is, he can go to the mall, he can go to the cinema, you know, and he can do all the normal things. I think that's going to give him a new lease of life in this camp.
You know, a lot of people are complaining, saying that Tyson Fury is not fighting Usyk, and it's his fault. Do you think if AJ gets this victory, he'll fight AJ?
Yeah, I think he's all about the money, Tyson Fury. You know, he's reached that point in his career. He's achieved what he needs to achieve. He's just looking for the But
would you guys take a 70-30? Of course not.
Absolutely. We already...
Wait. Whoa. You heard that. 70-30.
As I said the other day, we've already got a deal in place from last time, which was well publicised, 60-40 deal. No, but we got the material points of that deal agreed. Okay. What we actually need to do is just pick that back up. But we need to do it. One of my biggest problems is I've got a massive mouth. And like, you know, George would say to me, can you not talk? When you do 40 interviews a day, everyone's asking you the question. We do need both fighters just to remove themselves from it. Let Matchroom and Queensbury go to work on it. See if we can get into a position to approach the fighters and say, do you know what? We've actually got this in place. But it's all completely irrelevant if we don't win on Saturday night.
Eddie, so is it Eddie? Sorry, he's got to go. He's got to go. AJ does a lot of work. This man does a lot of work. He's been up since 5 in the morning doing everything. Look, the big fight on Saturday. Make sure you scan the QR code. And there are so many other ways as well that you can make sure you watch the big fight on Saturday.
Don't be too long, son. Only I want to get home tonight for the AJ fight. Be lively, eh? Do you like a bit of boxing, son? No, obviously you don't. My missus showed me how to get the zone on TV. It's well easy.
70,000 in the house for Anthony Joshua.
Do you fancy it? Banging your details, bosh, job done. Dead easy.
Joshua unloading, and that'll do it.
It's April 1st, it's DAZN, and the AJ fight